What's up, Laker fans? I'm in LA. Excited to meet you all.
Mavs fans, your boy AD here.
What's up, it's Max
With Max.
Yes,
Hey, man, we're excited to be a part of the organization, be a part of the team. We're going to do something special with y'all, man.
We'll win a lot of games.
A lot of games. We're excited, and we can't wait to get on the floor, support the team, and do what we do best.
Yes, sir. Go Mavs.
Go Mavs. Here we go.
Like, some things still kind of wow you. That definitely was a shock for sure. But every year around this time, we've all been through it where trades happen, teams are trying to get better, trying to reposition themselves to win the ultimate prize, obviously, and just part of the business. It is fun at times, though. Right. So you got to appreciate the entertainment value of shocking trades like that.
Glasses coming off.
It's so disappointing.
Mm.
I mean, I be thinking we just gonna talk hoop, man, and be real. And you got the biased fanboy but the writing's on the walls. Yeah. Luka's Kim Kardashian. She's free, and we don't know why. Mm-hmm. Man, you got all the qualities. Why would you just give something so precious up so easily? Why did you want to get rid of it? Why would I want it? We don't really ask these questions when we really looking from the outside. Like, why the is Luka Doncic going to the Lakers for Anthony Davis? You just let a guy go who plays both sides of the ball. You all watched jog around on defense, jog around with effort. Nobody said nothing.
Nothing.
Coach didn't do nothing. You got to a new coach that's got less respect than your old coach. And you think you're going to be able to go over here and be 270 and run up and down without an LA fan? Real Laker fans. Real Laker fans is looking like, yeah, it's Luka, but what the hell, how long we got to wait for this to turn around and get on track?
I just ran into somebody who knows everything you need to know about the Luka Doncic trade. It happens. You're in LA. You're running the Stars. I'll let that give you a hint. Here's what you need to know. First thing, Anthony Davis is extremely excited about going to Dallas. The second thing, they knew Anthony Davis would likely be moved. They didn't think it would happen now. The only way that the Lakers can revive the franchise and garner legitimate assets is by moving Anthony Davis. That is the one piece that you can really move and get a bunch of assets for. LeBron James, 41 years of age, you're not moving him. Number two, Nico Harrison, general manager of the Mavericks, was Anthony Davis's direct player rep with Nike. So Nico Harrison knew Anthony Davis extremely well. But also Nico Harrison was Kobe's direct player rep with Nike. Why is that of importance? Because that's the way Nico Harrison knew Rob Pelinka well. Remember, Rob Pelinka, Kobe. Remember, Nico Harrison, Kobe's rep. So now if Nico knew Rob Pelinka extremely well because Nico was Kobe's Nike rep, and Nico knows AD extremely well because Nico was AD's Nike rep, then Nico already knew that if and when we acquire AD is not going to drag his heels in the ground and refuse to go there. Nico knew AD's family. Nico knows AD's emotional disposition, because the biggest drawback would have been if you tried to make this trade and AD wants to say, hey, I'm refusing to play for the Mavericks. But Nico knew AD wasn't going to refuse because Nico knew AD dating back to Nike, and Nico knew Rob dating back to Kobe, dating back to Nike. Now the question is simple. How in the world did Luka get involved? Well, at the point in which you knew a move was going to happen if you want to acquire AD, but you didn't know that you were going to acquire AD this fast, something occurred with the Dallas Mavericks that obviously expedited the time frame of the trade. What was that thing? Well, I can't say everything, but something occurred that expedited the time frame. And at the point in which the Lakers receive a call and Luka is being offered on the other end, well, now nothing else matters. So it is true that nobody in AD's camp, nobody in LeBron's camp, nobody knew that the trade was going down. And the way Nico was able to keep a secret, because Nico and Rob know each other like that. AD's happy about it. Luka, time will tell. All right, I gotta go. Let's see who I run into next.
I gotta wonder what Cuban thinks of all of this. Obviously, he's not the majority owner anymore. He still in the mix, though. You think he's thrilled about this?
I texted him and I said, I'm so confused. And he wrote back, that makes two of us. So that kind of tells you right there he wasn't involved. And by the way, this new ownership, Patrick Dumont and Adelson family, they're business people, right? They're Vegas casino, real estate moguls. They know nothing about the NBA and basketball. So they have fully given Nico the keys to do decisions and make big, bold moves like this. So I believe Mark. I think this is just more of a shock. The comment he said now is coming to light about, filing on Monday, which obviously is getting pulled back to light. But yeah, I mean, I texted him and he literally said that makes two of us. So he's probably just as shocked as we all are.
Welcome back to NBA Cinema. So we have a lot more to talk about with this Luka Doncic trade, and we're going to actually venture into Golden State Warriors as they are desperate to make a move before the trade deadline. I only have a few more days, so they're going to have to pull a rabbit out of their hat. Now, LeBron James' name has been thrown around. Obviously, Kevin Durant reunion with Steph Curry has been thrown around, but you have different things. I mean, they're reaching out for Giannis. They're reaching out for, I even heard Zion Williamson's name, Paul George. They're just trying to grab someone. And their dream would be to bring in LeBron and KD, but I don't know if that is possible. But first, man, we're going to look back at some of the things that's coming out from the New York Post about Luka Doncic and his off-court habits. And this is what I was saying, in my previous videos about his weight. And it wasn't so much that Luka was drinking the beer when I showed the official taking it away. It was more so that he's not doing the other necessary things to stay in shape. And you can tell that he's drinking the beer. So it says, around the NBA, the team's issues with Doncic on and off the court habits were known. And Mavs head coach Jason Kidd has shared the concerns with Doncic directly, as well as publicly, regarding the star's weight, arguing with the officials and his conditioning. Now, it says they tried to force him to change his ways over and over. The Mavericks fired several members of their staff that focused on health and conditioning based off of how Luka would look, right? Or the way he would come in the season, or the way he would balloon up during a minor injury, missing any kind of time. It says they parted ways with the director of player health and performance, Casey Smith, in August 2023, and fired strength coach Jeremy Holsopel and manual therapist Casey Spangler following last season. It says all three have been close with Doncic, which only worked to upset the player and led him to assemble his own full-time team of coaches that he paid, according to ESPN. They get rid of everybody I like, Doncic said in recent months, per one ESPN source. So when Luka Doncic went out and grabbed his own guys, the Dallas Mavericks became frustrated because that led to a breakdown in communication. We want to appoint certain people, and you go out with the money that we're paying you to get people to do that for you. And so now when you're all your reports, everything about your body, it's like your own outside guys. It's not the team appointed people that's doing what needs to be done. And so that was the reason for the breakdown, guys. Luka's body, him going out hiring his own team of people, crying to the officials, coming in overweight, having to have the ball not impacting or not even trying on the other end of the floor. Now, Mavericks fans are very upset about this, so they do have to win the championship. No way you slice it, Luka's 25, and so if he has a healthy career, they don't get a ring out of this. Kyrie and AD age out, and Luka's still going. They're gonna be very upset, but they feared that he would become like Joel Embiid, and those guys still may outlast Luka. Is how they kind of looking at it. This is what they thinking. But Lakers officials think that they can have LeBron James show him the ropes, show him what to put in his body, how to eat, and everything in between. So that's that with Luka and the Mavs and the Lakers and all this stuff that happened. Well, Steph Curry has let it be known that the roster is currently constructed and ain't going to get it done. It's not what he's trying to do. We're going to look at that video. Let's speak.
Do you expect it to be even tenser than normal for a trade deadline week over the next week, considering this moment for you guys and where you sit right now in the standings?
Only real difference is you're another year away from the 22 years, so it's a little less of a, I think every trade deadline since has been a little uneasy, but the further you get away from winning, it becomes a little bit more of a sense of urgency. So it's the NBA, nothing different than guys have experienced before. You have to be able to play through it, keep confidence, understand there's so many things you can control. So just play basketball.
Steve made a comment pregame that just considering where you are, it's unwise to at least just stay pat. Obviously, Mike's going to make the choices. We've had these conversations, but are you hoping that something happens?
It's not for me to make those decisions. I mean, I want to win. So whatever it means to do that.
Your second shot attempt had nothing to do with off ball. It was kind of just you having the ball at the top of the arc, got to the rim, layup. With the way that
stars of your stature can, apply pressure and ask for specific things. Would you ever consider trying to put more pressure on the front office, influence them more?
Y'all will never know about that. We have conversations all the time. I want to win. Again, that's not my job. I'm not a coach. I'm not a GM. I'm not an owner. It's pretty clear where I stand on, trying to make whatever necessary adjustments are to win.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
Around this year, we talk about, if some of the trade deadline chatter is getting, kind of filtered into the locker room. Is it tenser even though than normal deadlines, considering y'all's situation, considering how many guys could potentially be in play?
I think we just have a lot of really professional guys on our team because I don't sense a tenseness in the locker room. I think everybody understands the business, and it's the hardest part of this business when you grow attached to people and then people move on, whether it's trade, free agency, coaches getting fired. There's just, you build these relationships that are really intimate because you've gone through the fire together every day, and then all of a sudden people are gone. It's bizarre. And then I think the hardest thing for the players is that we ask them to be loyal and to give everything they have for the group, for the team, because that's the job. But then they might get shipped out. It's a really hard thing to reconcile as a player, but players have to reconcile it if they want to be productive and useful in their NBA career. Some guys, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, some guys are above all that. But the vast majority of these guys, they have to figure out that they are their own best asset, and the way to be the best asset for yourself is to be valuable to your team and to be professional and to recognize that there's a lot of stuff that can happen that's no fun, and that's part of the job. And it's difficult, but it's something that the pros, the vets on the team, they understand that and they deal with it.
Enough talent to compete at a playoff level?
Oh, we do. I think we've shown that, but we've also shown that we don't have enough to separate ourselves from the rest of the West. And so I think the point is, we're not in a position where we can just say, no, we're good, let's stand pat. That's the reality of where we are. So Mike's doing his due diligence, doing his job. If there's something that makes sense, he's going to do it. And if not, then I'm very comfortable going forward with this team because I know what we're capable of, and I believe in the guys, and we'll hopefully try to capture a little momentum here. We have an opportunity for that. I think tonight's a big game in that regard, coming off the other night, but we got to go do it.
Is that a message that you passed along to Mike? Just we can't stay pat.
Well, those conversations are not for public consumption. So yeah, Mike's great. He's the ultimate collaborator. He calls me every day, fills me in on what he's talking about, what he's thinking about, and we talk about our team all the time. So but that stuff stays between us.
So guys, when I look at this, the Warriors are gonna have to give up all the young players, right? Obviously, if they want to have a chance at a LeBron James, if LeBron were to waive his no trade clause. See, it's a lot of things holding up a lot of moves. Bradley Beal not willing to waive his. LeBron, I think he's comfortable there with LeBron, Bronny, and Bronny is right there, right? He's with him, and like the Lakers is the organization that brought Bronny in. So by that, I feel like LeBron is comfortable with the handling of Bronny. And I think to him at this point, that's more important than winning a championship. KD and Steph, bringing them back together would be different now. There's no Clay. There's no peak Clay at this point. And also, Draymond, the rest of the roster just is not the same. So if you put them back together, it's not necessarily a super team to me at this point. They would really have to grind it out, and they would still have to make some moves with their roster. Is it enough for you to give up your future by going with Steph and KD at this stage? I don't know if that's the move to make. I mean, you would have to bring in, there's so many other pieces they're going to need to turn this into a championship window if that were to happen. But LeBron and Steph have voiced, their desire to play together with one another, and this would be the only situation, that it would be. Steph is going to retire a Warrior. I don't think Steph is going to get to a place where he's going to want to leave the Warriors. He's had such a career there and so many highs there, and that's his place. I think, he wants his retirement to be there, and he don't want to play for another franchise, which I definitely understand that and respect that in this day and age. So there's a lot of hurdles for a move to be made, but Golden State has literally called every team, according to Shams. They've called everybody for any kind of superstar. Now, calling Philadelphia for Paul George at this stage is a little crazy to me. If there was a way to make LeBron and KD both be on the team, that's probably about the only thing that they could do. I mean, you have to give away pretty much everything and build a roster, of vet men's. But that's the only thing I think they can do at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because you're seeing the young talent get together. You're seeing De'Aaron Fox, Wemby. You're seeing these young cores starting to come together, and they're pretty much happy where they're at this stage. So, yeah, man. And as far as AD and Luka, it was more than meets the eye with that trade. I think when the different ownership group came in, and Mark Cuban, he still have 20%, but he's outside of basketball decisions, sold 80% of the team. You get stuff like this. You get this type of stuff, when you trade the team and you ain't making the decisions, things you've said and assurances you've given, they don't necessarily stand, whenever a new ownership group comes in. For Luka, like I'm saying, this should make him hungry, man. And he, I look at him as playing great with his talent. Obviously, he's in some shape, but just that NBA level shape to be the peak version of himself night in and night out, I've never seen Luka there. And to see Luka there where he's trying on D and, he's getting up and down and he's not gasping for air, crying for fouls all the time, that can be in your nature somewhat, but some players that do that, they're tired and they don't feel like running back on the other end of the floor, so they'll cry and act like they were fouled. And I think sometimes Luka was doing that. He was tired after all that dribbling and then shooting a shot, and he didn't get the call, and he didn't feel like running back up the court because he was exhausted at times. So we're going to see how this plays out. They feel like LeBron can be that guy that shows him what to eat, how to take care of his body, and they're grooming him to be the star for the Lakers. I don't think LeBron James knew this. People saying, you really don't believe LeBron knew nothing about this trade? I think they said, we got you, Bronny, but going forward, we're going to do what's best for us. We're not going to do this AD LeBron thing and not get nothing in return. You just walk away from the game one day, and AD is able to walk later when his contract is done. Nah, y'all ain't about to pull that one on me. So I'm going to pull the trigger while you still here and AD has a reason to want to be here and not lessen his trade value. Because remember how AD got out of New Orleans and what he did to get out of New Orleans? No. We ain't about to let that type of situation happen again. We're going to trade him, and he's older. We're about to trade him and get the face of our franchise. So even when the smoke cleared with all this, at the very least, since we've exhausted all our picks and everything in between, we have the face of our franchise coming in. And that's my take on it, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.